All right, talking to Malachi Lawrence. Listen, I talked to you a little bit on Monday, and you gave me a good answer. I kind of want to build on it because, listen, you're captain now. You know, Josh and Draymond, both great players in their own right, both put their kind of their stamp and identity on that year's defense. I know we're just getting to see where you're a leader here and you're handling that. What's kind of the stamp you're trying to put on your part of the defensive line?
Just showing not really because I'm not a vocal leader. I mean, I need to work on that more, but I'm not really a vocal leader. I like to.
You did fine on Monday. Give yourself a little credit, but go ahead.
Yeah. I try to be more of a vocal leader now, but I like to show really my leadership. So just not messing up in practice, no mistakes is really kind of what of a leadership a role that I try to take. Just the little things, just detailing on those. Like I said, coach loves those little things, and those are what cost the game. So just detailing on the little things is what shows how I'm trying to be a leader.
Okay, so yeah, leading by example and all
Yes,
that,
sir.
that fits into, let me string a few threads together. Then I don't know if you were in the room when I asked Coach about this on Monday, but I asked him, because, obviously, and we'll talk about stopping the run this year and all that, obviously I got to ask you that question at some point, but there's not really been a clear thing for the offense from our perspective that they had to work on. I asked him about the offensive line building chemistry. He said no, it was that discipline piece. Is that so apparently that message of, hey, we need to be better in the little things to win those close games, is this that 6 and 7 that's ticking everybody off? Is that kind of shining through and leading you to that place?
Yes, sir. Those penalties as well, we just need to lower our penalties, because we were I think 78 and 86 in the country in penalties, and that just cost games. And we were seeing the top teams in the country, how they had the least amount of penalties, the least amount of turnovers. So we just need to limit the turnover margin and the penalties. And like I said, the turnovers are the big things, really, and those cost games. But it's the little things what causes those turnovers that we need to limit.
Speaking of causing turnovers, obviously that's something you like to do as a defensive player. What is it kind of a key? Because you had a long string of a turnover per game, I think, in the first 8 games. I'd have to check my articles. I was tracking it. But what's kind of the key to maybe getting more turnovers, or is there something that you guys are doing? Is there any emphasis on trying to make that happen on the defensive side?
In practice, you got to practice getting turnovers, because you can't just go to the game and get turnovers. So now we're emphasizing punching the ball out, going for the ball. So I'm definitely seeing more turnovers at practice that we're getting on the defense. And also blitzing. Blitzing causes the quarterback to get confused, pressures, disguises. So we're disguising, blitzing. And so pressure causes the quarterback to make a bad read, and we'll get there.
Let me go this direction with you, too, because when you saw Draymond and Josh, to me the thing that kind of stood out is I would never want to take them suit shopping because they shoulders is big. You are a bit more of a wiry frame. Is this kind of a change in approach for the defensive ends to have a bit more speed so you can chase down these mobile QBs? Is
Yes,
that
sir.
something?
Yeah, I feel just having speed off the ball. Like you said, Josh was more like a run stopper, but he also had that hustle. While Drop, he was a pass rusher. Even though he wasn't as fast, he still would get to the quarterback. So I feel it's good to have the speed, but you don't need it. If you're a pass rusher or you're one of those guys, you can definitely get to that quarterback.
And listen, for any scouts that are listening, we're not saying that Josh can't run. That's not the truth at all.
Yeah,
no.
he for sure can
Let's be clear. I want to be accused of that. Speaking of that, though, you talked about being a run stopper and all that early, kind of a bugaboo for the defense last year. You guys have been talking about it as early as summer, though.
Right.
That's been the thing. How has that translated in practice? What have you seen? Is there anything that's different? Obviously, I'm not asking for the playbook, but what's little things that have happened different in practice to accent that?
We're doing more, half line, so drills that we're working, more reps. If you get more reps, then you can work on it better. So hand placement's really important too. So we got to get the right hand placement. So we're working on hand to sternum and our 6-inch power step. It all starts with your feet. So if your feet are messed up, then you can't get your hands right. So if we get our feet together, then and our hands right, we set that edge.
I mean, with your arms, I used to have a hard time in hand fighting drills. You would tear me apart, man. Listen, I ain't even trying to think about that. That's going to be dangerous. But let me get to this, because I was talking at this table actually with Marcellus Marshall. I'm talking about the O-line getting chemistry and all that, and you know, obviously we O-line, we were talking about food. That's how they bond.
Right.
Where I'm taking this is, no one talks about chemistry for the defensive line, but I feel like that's important. We talked the other day, the interior line getting things to the outside to help you out, right? They can check that out, blackandgoldbanneret.com, by the way, where I asked them that question. But what's important what's kind of the key thing to get chemistry for you guys? What does that lead to, and how do you find it? I mean, do you guys cook too? What's up?
Chemistry, like off the field events. So like fall camp's really like team bonding.
Mm-hmm.
So like fall camp, we're eating together, and like even off the field, like before fall camp during the summer, we'll all like go out sometime. But during fall camp is really the time for like team bonding and leadership, getting to know your brother.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really what makes you play harder for them if you know their goals.
Well, and like, how are you doing that? You go see Deadpool and Wolverine? What are we talking about? Where you guys hang out? What do you do?
Shoot, sometimes we just go into the game room, play the game.
Oh,
We have a
okay.
little game room in there. We have like basketball, table tennis. So we have like little competitions like that and little stuff like that. And then you just sit down and get to know them, like somebody you'll never probably expect to talk to on the team, but you'll go in there and play table tennis and get to know them and be like, okay, pretty cool. And you get to start hanging out with them.
Who on the defense dominates the ping pong table?
I don't know nobody on the defense right now, but I'll say KJ's pretty good.
Okay.
And Brock, he's pretty good.
That makes sense. They could kind of reach to both sides of the
Right.
table. That's how I cheat. I'm slow, so I can reach for it. I can see that.
Do you guys both go bowling?
Uh-oh.
I mean, we haven't went recently, but we had plans on going. Like, we had plans on doing a cookout too, but like, we just got to come through with those plans.
RJ says he's the best bowler on the team.
Maybe. I haven't seen him bowl, but I wouldn't take it from him.
Kobe says he's the best. He has a ball.
Okay, yeah, if you have a ball, I don't want to play you. Yeah, that's another type of, that's something else.
You don't need that smoke. Okay. Let me ask you one last question, man. In your mind, like, whether it's something on the stat sheet, whether it's a team achievement, whether it's something for you personally, what has to happen for Malachi Lawrence to declare a successful season?
Big 12 championship, definitely. That's a successful season for everybody, because if we win the Big 12 championship, stocks get higher, everybody's draft stock gets higher. Like, if you go 6-7, like, the NFL scouts will be like, okay, they had an average season, let's see. But if you go 14-1, then they're like, okay, let's see who's on their team. They know how to win.